Now what do you think, now what do you think? I've been to the seaside. Sees I a Four-oss Sharrybang, thinks I'll have a ride. Now the fare was 18 pence, I know that's a lot of money for me. But you can't do things on the cheap now, can you, when you're in society? No, you can't do things on the cheap now, can you, when you're in society? The company was very nice, not haughty-like or proud. They was also affable and nice and never nothing loud. Then listen to me, 'cause I'll tell you straight, and I always speaks me mind. What I liked about that company was they was all of them so refined. What I liked about that company was they was all of them so refined. There was 10 old ladies all a-sitting in a row, a-sucking of a peppermint drop. And each had a bottle of something they called homemade ginger pop. There was fine young gents with their arms round the waists of the fine young women what sang. I tiddly I tie the whole of the way aboard that sharrybang. I tiddly I tie the whole of the way aboard that sharrybang. There was one young gent had a concertina. He could play. You should have heard him give his own sweet oh, he made me cry. Then he played a bit of a funeral march. It was sad, but never mind. That high-class music is a little melancholy, but it's always so refined. That high-class music is a little melancholy, but it's always so refined. There was one old lady says to me, "Young man, would you like to try a drop?" She says, "It's very comforting, this homemade ginger pop." She says, "It's only the peppermint as makes it taste so strong." I says, "You're a nice old cup of tea." She says, "Oh, go along." I says, "You're a nice old cup of tea." She says, "Oh, go along." She'd a big plush hat with a large sunflower and a feather of heavenly blue. She says, "Young man, I'm thinking that my hat would just suit you." So we both changed hats and how they laughed and chaffed, but never mind. What I liked about that company was they was all of them so refined. What I liked about that company was they was all of them so refined. And it's all I say, we was that gay, you should have heard us how we sang. With a hi, 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 get out of the way of the Four-oss Sharrybang. If you saw our little garden, what a pretty spot you'd cry. It's a picture of a sunny summer's day, with the turnip tops and cabbages, what people doesn't buy. Well, I makes it on a Sunday look all gay. Course the neighbours thinks I grows 'em, and you'd fancy you're in Kent, or at Epsom if you gazed into the mews. It's a wonder as the landlord doesn't want to raise the rent, just because we got such knobby distant views. What views? 'Course it really is a very pretty garden, and Chiswick to the westward might be seen. With a ladder and some glasses, you could see to Hackney Marshes if it wasn't for the houses in between. Though the gasworks isn't violets, they improves the rural scene, and for mountains they would very nicely pass. With the mushrooms in the dust hole and the cowcumbers so green, why it only wants a bit of hothouse glass. I wears a milkman's nightshirt and I sits outside all day, like the ploughboy cove what mizzled o'er the lee. And when I comes indoors at nights, they dunno what I says, 'cause me language gets as yokel as can be busy. 'Course it really is a very pretty garden, and Hampstead to the northwards might be seen. If I had a rope and pulley, I'd enjoy the breeze more fully, if it wasn't for the houses in between. We're as countrified as can be, with a close proprietary, and the mangle makes a rustic little style. Every time the blinking clock strikes, there's a cuckoo sings to me, and I've written up to Kentish Town 1 mile. The dust cart, though it seldom comes, is just like harvest home, and we mean to rig a dairy up summer. Put the donkey in the wash-house with some imitation horns, and we're teaching him to moo just like a cow. Cause it really is a very pretty garden, and Hackney to the eastwards might be seen. And by clinging to the chimbley, you could see across to Wembley, if it wasn't for the houses in between. If it wasn't for the houses in between. A mother was bathing a baby one night, the youngest of 10 and a tiny young mite. The mother was poor and the baby was thin, only a skeleton wrapped up in skin. The mother turned round for the soap off the rack. She was but a minute, but when she turned back, the baby was gone, and in anguish she cried, "Oh, where is my baby?" The angels replied, "Your baby has gone down the plug hole. Your baby has gone down the plug." The poor little thing was so skinny and thin, he should have been bathed in a jug. Your baby is perfectly happy, 'cause he won't need a bath anymore. Your baby has gone down the plug hole, not lost, just gone before. Not lost, just gone before. There was a gay young farmer, and he lived on Salisbury Plain. He loved a rich knight's daughter dear, and she loved him again. But the knight was so distressed that they should sweethearts be. He had the young man pressed and sent him off to sea, singing, "Rule Britannia, Britannia, rule the waves. Britons never, never, never shall be. Marry I yet to a mermaid at the bottom of the deep blue sea." Well, 'twas in the broad Atlantic, midst the equinoctial gale, that the young fellow fell overboard among the sharks and whales. Well, he sank right down to the bottom, so quickly down went he. He was out of sight like a streak of light at the bottom of the deep blue sea, singing, "Rule Britannia, Britannia, rule the waves. Britons never, never, never shall be. Marry I yet to a mermaid at the bottom of the deep blue sea." Well, we sent a boat to look for him, expecting to find his corpse, when he come to the top with an eaten crop and an all sepulchral voice. Oh, me comrades and me messmates all, do not weep for me, for I'm married to a mermaid at the bottom of the deep blue sea, singing rule Britannia, Britannia, rule the wave. Britons never, never, never shall be married to a mermaid at the bottom of the deep blue sea. Well, the anchor was wild and the sails unfurled and the ship was a-running free, when we went up to our captain and this we told to he. Then the skipper he came to the old ship's side and out loud bellowed he, be as happy as you can with your wife, my man, at the bottom of the deep blue sea, singing rule Britannia, Britannia, rule the waves. Britons never, never, never shall be married to a mermaid at the bottom of the deep blue sea. I'm a broken-hearted milkman, and in grief I may ride, all through keeping of the company of a certain young maid, what lived on board wages, they asked to keep clean, in a fine gentleman's residence back of Paddington Green. She was beautiful as a butterfly and as proud as a queen, was pretty little Polly Perkins of Paddington Green. When I'd roll up in the mornings and shout milk below, at the sound of me milk cans of her face she'd show, with a laugh upon her countenance and a smile in her eye. If I thought that she'd love me, I'd lay down to die. She was beautiful as a butterfly and as proud as a queen, was pretty little Polly Perkins of Paddington Green. When I asked her for to marry me, she says, oh, what stuff, and asked me to drop it, 'cause she'd had quite enough of me nonsense. At the same time, I'd been very kind, but for marriage with a milkman she didn't feel inclined. She was beautiful as a butterfly and as proud as a queen, was pretty little Polly Perkins of Paddington Green. Now in 6 months she was married, this hard-hearted girl, and it was not a baronet, and it was not a earl, not even a viscount, 'twas a shade or two us, 'twas the bandy-legged conductor of a twopenny bus. She was beautiful as a butterfly and as proud as a queen, was pretty little Polly Perkins of Paddington Green. A miner was leaving his home for his work when he heard his little child scream. He went to his bedside, his little white face. Oh, Daddy, I've had such a dream. I dreamt that I saw the pit all on fire, and men struggled hard for their lives. The scene then changed, and the top of the mine was surrounded by sweethearts and wives. Don't go down the mine, Dad. Dreams very often come true. Daddy, you know it would break my heart if anything happened to you. Just go and tell my dream to your mates, and as true as the stars that shine,
Something is going to happen today. Dear Daddy, don't go down the mine. Whilst waiting his turn with his mates to descend, he could not banish his fears. He returned home again to his wife and his child. These words seemed to ring through his ears. And ere the day ended, the pit was on fire, when a score of brave men lost their lives. He thanked God above for the dream his child had, as once more the little one cried. Don't go down in the mine, Dad. Dreams very often come true. Daddy, you know it would break my heart if anything happened to you. Just go and tell my dream to your mates, and as true as the stars that shine, something is going to happen today. Dear Daddy, don't go down the mine.
My father's feet filled up half the street, so his boots was in proportion, and the kids he'd squash in a week, by gosh, it really was a caution. Well, me and me brothers from the age of 4, all wrapped up cosy in a box of straw, till 11 in the morning used to sleep and snore in the Hob-Nailed boots what father wore. When Madge and Flo went to Southend, so as money they'd be saving, father's boots was seen as a bathing machine, and they did exchange for bathing. Well, whilst they was changing, they forgot, I'm sure, the old dad had cut for his corns and cord. All the boys started giggling at what they saw in the Hob-Nailed boots what father wore. Now we had a goat with a cast iron throat, though she never used to bite us. She died one Sunday in the afternoon of acute appendicitis. Now she had whiskers used to touch the floor, and when they was plaited by the kids next door, they made the finest laces that you ever saw for the Hob-Nailed boots that father wore. When I went to school, well, I felt a fool, for one day when we was drilling, the teacher said, toe the line, fathead, and I did the most unwilling. She said, I'll tell you and I've told you before, don't keep backing through the schoolhouse door. Well, he's just toed the line, said the kids with a roar, in the Hob-Nailed boots what father wore. On a lawman's day, just to shout hooray, father went and how he sauced him, but his plates of meat stuck across the street, so the Lord Mayor drove across him. As he was a-going through the Guildhall door, father fell flat upon his back and swore. All the crowd started booing then, 'cause all they saw was the Hob-Nailed boots that father wore. Today I've been busy removing, and I'm all of a fidgety fidge. Me last digs was on the embankment, the third seat from Waterloo Bridge, but the cooking and all the attendance didn't happen to suit me so well. So I ordered me men just pack up me bags and look out for another hotel. He did, and the new place is extra Ivor. Just listen, I'll tell you where I'm living now. I live in Trafalgar Square with 4 lions to guard me. Fountains and statues all over the place, and the metropole staring me right in the face. I own it's a trifle drafty, but I looks at it this way, you see. If it's good enough for Nelson, well, it's quite good enough for me. Though the beds ain't as soft as they might be, still the temperature's never too high. And it's nice to see swells who are passing look on you with envious eye. And then when you wake in the morning, just fancy how nice it must be to have a good walk for your breakfast, and the same for your dinner and tea. There's many a swell up in Park Lane tonight who'd be only too glad if it my appetite, 'cause I live in Trafalgar Square with 4 lions to guard me, fountains and statues all over the place, and the metropole staring you right in the face. I own it's a trifle drafty, but I looks at it this way, you see. If it's good enough for Nelson, it's quite good enough for me. If it's good enough for Nelson, it's quite good enough for me. Since first I copped a tidy lump of swag, I've always kept a decent little nag. But one as I shall sing about to you now was worth 1,000,000 jimmies in a bag. I matched against the best that could be found. 4 owners made a stake of £60. So the race was duly run, and I'll tell you how I won with brave Polly, my old pony, world renowned. Down the road away went Polly with a step so jolly that I knew she'd win. Down the road the pace was killing, but the mare was willing for a lightning spin. All the rest were licked and might as well have ne'er been born. Wow mare, you've earned your little bit of corn. Tom Jones the butcher thought the foreman true. Says he, look here, I'll tell you what I'll do. My cob shall trot your mare again next Monday, and 50 more bright sovereigns I will blue, if you prove she can beat him once again. I'll never more in this world touch a rein. Though I knew he'd got no chance, he insisted on the dance. So I'll tell you how we slew the slain. Down the road away went Polly with a step so jolly that I knew she'd win. Down the road the pace was killing, but the mare was willing for a lightning spin. Jones's cob was licked and might as well have ne'er been born. Wow mare, you've earned your little bit of corn. Soon after that she reached life's final goal. I'd had that little wonder from afar, and grief too keen to talk about was my way. Poor Paul was carted off to fill an hole,
Me missus and the kids all went with me. The last of poor pet pony Paul to see, and our neighbours shared the grief that was felt beyond belief when the little mare was buried, R.I.P. Down the road, away went Polly, not a face looked jolly, 'twould have seemed a sin. Down the road, the pace not killing, but the dead mare willing for the final spin. Everybody looked so sad and I felt quite forlorn. Whoa, mare, you've earned your little bit of corn. Down the road, away went Polly with a step so jolly that I knew she'd win. Down the road, the pace was killing, but the mare wasn't willing for a lightning spin. All the rest were licked and might as well have never been born. Whoa, mare, you've earned your little bit of corn. He stood in a beautiful mansion, surrounded by riches untold. He gazed at a beautiful picture that hung in a frame of gold. 'Twas the picture of a lady so beautiful, young and fair. To the beautiful lifelike features he murmured in sad despair, if those lips could only speak, if those eyes could only see, if those beautiful golden tresses were there in reality, could I only take your hand as I did when you took my name. But it's only a beautiful picture in a beautiful golden frame. He sat there and gazed at the painting, then slumbered, forgetting all pain. And there in that mansion in fancy, she stood by his side again. Then his lips, they softly murmured the name of his once sweet bride. With his eyes fixed upon the picture, he awoke from his dream and cried, if those lips could only speak, if those eyes could only see, if those beautiful golden tresses were there in reality, could I only take your hand as I did when you took my name. But it's only a beautiful picture in a beautiful golden frame.
I'm a very handy man, saving money's always been my plan. One day last week I says to the wife, that wall needs a whitewash on me life. So I said I'd go and do the job, and I did, so help me Bob. Mixed a pail of whitewash, set to work, and the old girl helped me like a Turk. Slap dab, up and down the brickwork, slap dab all day long. In and out the corners, round the Johnny Horners, we were a pair of fair clean goners. Slap a dab with a whitewash brush, talk about a fancy ball. And I got more whitewash on the old woman than I got up on the garden wall. The The missus, I must confess, made me put on her old night dress. Her nightcap too I had to wear, and she dressed like me, so we looked a proper pair. But she held up her pail to eye as I made that whitewash fly. Every now and then you could hear a squall. I was pasting the old girl's face for the wall. Slap dab, up and down a brickwork, slap dab all day long. In and out the corners, round the jolly corners, we were a pair of fair clean Gorners. Slap a dab with a whitewash brush, talk about a fancy ball. And I got more whitewash on the old woman, and I got up on the garden wall. Feeling very dry round here, I went out for a drop of beer, and the kids from the house next door, I think, attracted by the whitewash, come and had a drink. Well, there's gonna be an inquest now, and I'm in a terrible row. I'm finished with economical schemes, 'cause every night in all my dreams it's slap dab, up and down a brickwork, slap dab all day long. In and out the corners, round the Johnny owners, we would appear a fair clean Gorners. Slap a dab with a whitewash brush and talk about a fancy ball. And I got more whitewash on the old woman, and I got up on the garden, got up on the garden, got up on the garden wall. Now it's of a rich merchant as I'm going for to tell, what had for his daughter an uncommon nice young girl. Her name it was Dinah, scarce 16 years old, with a very large fortune in silver and gold. With me to the lawyer. Now as Dinah was a Villikin in the garden one day, her father come up to her and thus he did say, "Go dress yourself, Dinah, in gorgeous array, 'cause I'm bringing you home an husband both gallant and gay." With me to the lawyer. Oh Papa, this poor girl, she cried, "I don't feel inclined to be this young man's bride, and me very large fortune I'd gladly give o'er, if you'd let me live single just a year or two more." With me to the lawyer. Go, boldest daughter, this Aparian, he cried, "If you don't feel inclined to be this young man's bride, then I'll give you a large fortune to the nearest of kin, and you won't have the benefit of one single pin." With me to the lawyer. Now as Villikins was a Villikin, that garden all round, he spied his dear Dinah lying dead on the ground, with a cup of cold poison lying down by her side, and a billy dow which said as else was be poison she died. With me to the lawyer. Well, he kissed her cold corpses 1,000 times o'er, and he called her his dear Dinah, though she weren't no more. Then he drank up the poison like a lovelier soul brave, and Villikins and his Dinah was buried in one grave. With me to the lawyer. At 12 the next night, by a tall poplar tree, the ghost of Miss Dinah the apparent did see. I'm in on with a Villikins, and both looking blue, saying we wouldn't have been poisoned if it hadn't been for you. Bring me to as I was going home to tea, I thought I'd have a luxury. So off I popped to Mother Mac's Winkles, bought myself a pennyworth of winkles. I took 'em home and laid 'em on a plate, as happy as could be. But when I got upstairs, there was all the family. They was picking all the big ones out. Yes, picking all the big ones out. You never seen me face full of wrinkles, and when I saw that penny worth of winkles, all the big ones gone, it made me rave and shout, 'cause there was the missus and the 7 blooming kids. They was picking all the big ones out. As I was going home to tea, I thought I'd have a luxury, so off I popped her mother make shrinkles, bought myself a penny worth of winkles. I took them home and laid them on a plate as happy as could be. But when I got upstairs, there was all our family. They was picking all the big ones out, yes, picking all the big ones out. You never seen me face full of wrinkles, and when I saw that penny worth of winkles, all the big ones gone, it made me rave and shout, 'cause there was the missus and the 7 blooming kids. They was picking all the big ones out, picking all the big ones out, picking all the big ones out.
A soldier once was I, by jingo much admired. The army lost a treasure on the day that I retired. They begged of me to leave, they asked it as a boon. They said me Friday whiskers made the guns go off too soon. But damn it, peace or war, to me it's all the same. The ladies, bless 'em, mashing 'em has always been my game. Mashed 'em years ago, but now I'm in my prime. I'm known as Ginjah, Captain Ginjah, Ginjah all the time. Ginjah, Ginjah, they all know Captain Ginjah, the jolly old pot, OT-95 in the shade, what. I love the ladies, not one of them would I injure. All the girls are fond of Ginjah. When I look back and think, tut, what sport I've had. In certain quarters I'm afraid my reputation's bad. While strolling through the park or riding in the Row, I'm bound to merely be polite to ladies whom I know. Ah, Countess, how to do? I knew her when a gal. She sang in comic opera long before she met the Earl. There's the Duchess Dan, I almost made a fluke. We never speak as we pass by, it might upset the Duke. Ginjah, Ginjah, they all know Captain Ginjah, a jolly old pot, OT-95 in the shade of a pot. I love the ladies, not one of them would I injure. All the girls are fond of Ginjah. I've been in action twice, and both were blazing hot. The first was in Japupoland, and wounded there I got. When I recall it now, it hurts me peace of mind. I stooped to pull me socks up, and a spear stuck in behind. But action number 2 was quite a different sort. To tell the truth, it took place in the breach of promise court. Plaintiff told her tale when she proved it true. The judge said, "You'll be thankful, miss, he didn't marry you." Ginjah, Ginjah, they all know Captain Ginjah, hey, jolly old pot, OT-95 in the shade, hop. I love the ladies, not one of them would I injure. All the girls are fond of Ginjah.